Welcome to day 3 of Farmcon 21. Today we have a jam-packed schedule and we'll show you more about Farming Simulator 22's build mode, new crops and sound updates before warming up for the Farming Simulator League tournament at the weekend with a real live bale stacking challenge organized by our partners from the Stark magazine. We also went through the many questions you sent us after the show yesterday evening and will answer the most common of them later today. In the meantime, you can also chat with us on our Discord channel, and just like the days before, stick around after the show as we will have some Giants folks enter the server to chat with you. If you watch this on Twitch, you can take part in raffles throughout the show. Keep an eye on the Twitch chat to win keys for Farming Simulator 22 on PC, which winners will be able to redeem from the Giants eShop via our website on launch day, November 22nd. You can also win vouchers for a dedicated FS19 server hosted and sponsored by Nitrado. So let's talk about Farming Simulator 22. The first new feature we want to show you today is the build mode. Already featured in previous Farming Simulator games, we have made improvements which make it easier for players to create their own unique farm layout. In Farming Simulator 22, we have made it even more accessible for everyone, and my colleague Jos will now tell you all about it.
Hi, it's me again, Jos, gameplay developer at Giant Software. I'm here to introduce you to the build mode in Farming Simulator 22. The build mode combines the landscaping and the placement of buildings into one big screen. This allowed us to change the usability, to make it much easier to work with both and to add new features to the game. When creating the build mode, we wanted to focus on the player feedback we got from the previous game. Biggest issue were the input controls. They were too complicated and it was too hard to do what you wanted to do in the game. So we revamped all the controls and changed how landscaping works with new tools. We wanted to allow players to use their creativity to make the yards the way they want with new content. That's why we added hundreds of new placeables. I talked about creativity, but before I talk about buildings, I'm gonna move over because it's too hot here. Much better. Let's talk about halls. Rudolf Herrmann has provided us with many new halls of different sizes and functionalities. Some come with solar panels and others with vehicle service points. And they even have different colors. We also have many new storage buildings from Meridian, Unia, and I hope I pronounce this correctly, Noiedo. They give storage for seeds, fertilizer, crops and fuel. For the first time ever, we also have branded BGAs from Plan ET. Every map comes with a big static BGA, but you can also build your own using the modular parts. We also have many new animal pens. Some come with buildings from Rudolf Herrmann and some are just a pen. They come in many different sizes and are much easier to place than before. Let's talk about fences. We've added something completely new to the game, placeable fences. They're unlike any other building. You start by placing a pole and just pulling it away, and it will create any fence on any hill. We have added 10 different fences and we have gates. This way you can control who enters and does not enter your yard. I hope you like the new flexibility. We've also added beehives, solar panels and generators that can create a bit of income for you. And of course you can also find the new production chains in the build mode. Let's talk about something else, the big usability changes we made. The biggest changes in the build mode are the inputs, with the controls, the buttons and the keys. We have removed many of them and simplified the way you put down buildings. We made the input much more intuitive by removing many keys so you don't have to remind them all. Every input is context sensitive, so you're not able to rotate buildings that cannot be rotated or rotate fences that rotate themselves. We also made big changes to the sculpting. We added new tools to flatten your terrain and add slopes you control, and on the engine side we made it much easier to control adding and removing ground so that it is easier to make a yard that looks good. Finally, let's talk about modding. We've made big changes in the system that allows for composition of all these features together in one building or in separate buildings. You will be able to make a shed that is a service point and has animals, or has a manure heap and service point. I hope you're excited about this new build mode as I am, and I look forward to seeing the mods you will make and the yards you will build.
Thanks, Jos. We're back here. I'm Ken, the QA lead over at Giant Software. Joining me again is Stefan.
Yeah.
Jos has talked a little bit about the nice things this new build mode can do, and we thought, why not show you a little bit of these new features? So the build mode as a whole is like this complete new interface, as you can already see.
Yeah.
So we have we have the minimap in there. We have different tabs in there. Maybe we want to go over a few of them.
Yeah, so first you have an overview of the buildings. So you have different categories here. So the first is buildings. So you have the sheds, silos and all that stuff here. Then you have production, so everything for the production chains.
Yeah,
as
all of
Marius
your
explained.
factories, your placeable selling stations, of course, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and then you have the animals, so all the pens. Yeah, von Rudolf Herrmann here. Then the next step would be decorations.
Yeah, Jos talked a little about it in the video. The new fences we can see here, like there's this whole like dynamic system behind it that makes it super easy for us as a player, of course, to place these fences. But there was a lot of work that went into there.
Yeah.
That was one of Jos's personal projects. But yeah, we've seen it earlier. We had this is the area where we have our cow husbandry placed already. And if you're a player and say, okay, I have my stuff placed and everything, but I want to decorate a little bit or fence in the area, that is now easier than ever with this new fence system.
Yeah, so I already placed here some fences to have it a bit separated, and also this hedge here.
And gates as well.
Gates as well.
It's not only fences, but you can place gates, of course, that are interactive.
Yeah, so you can open them and close them, and just place here a fence. So you can just click with the mouse, have multiple points, and then if you click on the right mouse button, you finish the fence. So now we would have placed it.
Beautiful, Stefan. Very beautiful. But that's the nice thing. You can like build to whatever your heart's content, basically.
So I'm a really creative guy, you see. But if you don't like it, you can also remove it.
Yeah.
So you got here that function.
Button.
And then you can easily remove everything.
If you misclicked something, it's just easy click to get something back, and then you're back where you started at, basically.
And you can also just remove buildings. So if you click here, I don't want to remove it because it looks really nice, but it's also marked red. So if you click on it, it will just sell the building. So it's way more easy to sell the correct building.
Yeah, if you want to get rid of a silo or a shed, or if you want to, like, let's say if you starting out your game and you only have a small shed because you don't have enough money in the beginning, and now you've made money, of course, then the question is, what am I going to do? But you can easily just remove, and if you remove buildings, you get part of that money back as well, of course, and then just build the next shed level, basically, if you would like it.
Yeah, so you can just here, for example, nice Herrmann shed, but maybe you don't like it here at that position. You can just
click on the demolish button and
you can just sell it,
basically.
Yeah.
And oh, look at that. This is like a perfect example. You built something, you've poured the concrete, the shed is gone. Oh, what are we gonna do now, Stefan?
Yeah, maybe we just seed some grass there. So it's also the great thing about the new construction screen is that we got everything in place. Yeah. So you don't need to change the screen to just go to the painting or to the sculpting mode.
We've had the landscaping feature before in FS19, but now it's basically directly placed within the build mode menu, just because it makes sense to have it there. Course.
Yeah, so we can just here put some grass there, then we got rid of the concrete, and we can also just put some grass here.
Exactly, paint some grass there. The prices are not final, of course.
Yeah.
These are for demonstration purposes. We can also use we have trees now as well in the game, so if you want to like plant some of these, that's possible.
Yeah, so just decorate it here a bit more so that it looks more beautiful. Yeah, there's also the power line. Yeah. It's maybe not the best way to place them.
That's a safety hazard. That's how I see it.
But you can also just paint plants, so small bushes or grass.
Yeah, and as always, if you have any questions regarding the build mode, there's going to be a Q&A always after our presentation, so you'll be able to get those in then. Yeah, I mean, is there anything else we want to show regarding the build mode? I remember, for example, that now when you press escape, basically to go back to your character, something that was very important for us because we noticed it while testing, is that wherever you're currently in the world, that's where the build mode should pop up.
Yeah.
And also, so you kind of know, that's why the mini-map is in there actually. So you know that even while moving around in this build map menu with this new camera view, you're going to be somewhere completely different, but to find your way back to where you are and everything, to keep an overview of where you are in the world, that's why all of this stuff is there. So it was important for us to have the player not being ripped out of the whole immersion of where was I currently, where's my farm, looking around, not being able to find their way. So that's a reason, for example, why the map is there.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can also see the coordinates here nicely on the map. So yeah, what else can we show? We also have the sculpting here.
Yeah.
So we can also change the terrain here.
Yeah, just like before, you can use your mouse or also with a gamepad to basically use it as a brush and create the terrain and shape the world as you see fit, basically.
Yeah, so the controls are really easy here. So if you just sculpt it here a bit, you can just click with the mouse on painting and then paint it like you want. So it's really a lot more easier than before.
Intuitive. It's all in one place and it makes switching. It's much easier now to spend hours in this one menu and change the map as you want to. All right, I think that's all we want to show for now.
Yeah.
And as we've said before, any questions can be answered now shortly in our Q&A, and we'll see what's next on the program then. Thank you again, Stefan, for being here.
Welcome.
And I have another appointment, so I'm gonna be heading out, making my way already, and gonna say goodbye.
Bye.
Talk about building up excitement. Our next topic to discuss are the new crops in Farming Simulator 22. Crops are always an exciting addition because not only do they often also come with new vehicles and tools, some of them are also very specific to certain regions in the world. As a kid, I've seen a lot of combine harvesters around the village I grew up at, but not a single grape harvester. I'm sure for some of you, they are very common sight. And now you will also get to play with them in Farming Simulator 22. We have asked Kenny to tell you more about grapes, olives, and sorghum. I can't find him at the office though. Do you know where Kenny is? Should I call him? Sorry, take over. Kenny.
New crops in Farming Simulator 22. Sorghum, grapes, and olives. But what makes these new crops so special? Hi, I'm Ken Burgess, the QA lead over at Giant Software, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the new crop types coming to Farming Simulator 22 and how we brought them into the game. We have 3 distinct new crop types for Farming Simulator 22. Sorghum, which is a new grain type, and of course, grapes and olives. These grapes and olive vines can be then placed with our new build mode into the game. So you'll be able to place them in these beautiful rows and then use new machinery and equipment to take care of them and harvest them. We chose these 3 different crop types specifically because, first of all, sorghum is very popular among our US-based players and very big in general in American agriculture. And grapes and olives, on the other hand, they bring something completely new to the game in the way that they're handled and harvested. It's just something that we're not used to in previous parts of the Farming Simulator series entries. Also, they tie in very great with our new production chain system. Bringing new crop types into a game is always a real challenge, especially with something such complex like grapes and olives. We had to think about how are we going to implement these vines and a system behind it. New crop types means new gameplay experiences, new kind of scripts we have to come up with, and also, especially the whole vine system was, we had to think about how are we going to enable the player to place them in the game. And this was actually a very big inspiration behind the whole build mode as we currently have it in FS22, where you're able to place buildings, place vines, and more. Grapes and olives, the whole handling process, the harvesting, and the machinery used, it's all a very new, exciting gameplay aspect of Farming Simulator 22. Our vines in-game have their own collision, so you will have to drive to them with a harvester and manually navigate it across these vines. It'll then shake off the olives and grapes, which you can then of course use to further process them or sell them directly. And you can use specialized sprayers that drive along these vines to protect or also fertilize your vines, of course. As you can see, the width between these vines is about 1 meter to 1.50 meters, and you will be using specialized cultivators that dig along this area. That just helps generally to loosen up the soil so these plants get more water and can grow better. For grapes in particular, if you want them to grow back again once you've done harvesting your first batch, you will have to cut back these leaves right here. And then in the next year, since you don't have to like place the vines again or anything, they will just grow back naturally afterwards. You might be asking, what can you do with all these new crop types? Well, let's start with olives, for example. Olives you can use to either sell them directly at like a supermarket or a similar one of our new selling stations, or you can bring it to an oil mill if it belongs to you and process it further into olive oil. Then of course we have our grapes. Grapes can be either refined to grape juice, which is perfectly suitable for all ages, or you can further process them into raisins and then bring them to the cereal factory, for example. That will then continue producing them further. And of course with sorghum. Sorghum is mostly handled similar to other grain types in the game, so you can sell it at different selling stations. You can use it to feed your animals, such as horses and pigs, or you can use it to bring it to the flour mill, which then in turn can be redistributed to the bakery, for example, to produce bread or cake, which then can be sold for much more gains. So to implement these new vines and also the machinery, we worked very closely with New Holland. That both helped us out tremendously with references for the new machines. They also played a very important advisory role in getting these vines and their design just right, so we can present it to you in a very good way in the final game. Of course, modding is a very important aspect for all of us here at Giants and also the Farming Simulator community as a whole. So when we set up this new system of vines and how they're placeable and how they all work in the game, we always kept modders in mind. So once the game launches, if you have an idea for a similar fruit that behaves in like a similar way, you can of course use this new system to get that new content into the game easily as well. As you might know, we now have seasons implemented directly into the game. So for the first time ever in Farming Simulator 22, you will have this kind of seasonal growth calendar. And you will always have to be on the watch on when to plant and when to harvest your fruits, such as grapes, olives, sorghum, and of course all other crops in the game. This is optional, of course, you can turn it off, but if you play with it turned on, always be sure to keep an eye on your grapes.
So, grapes, olives, or sorghum, what are you most looking forward to? You will be able to harvest these new crops in Farming Simulator 22, launching worldwide on November 22nd this year. Digital and retail box pre-orders are possible now, and if you do, you will also get the amazing Class Saddle Track Pack as a pre-order bonus. It is important for us to get your feedback. Our Farming Simulator ambassadors help us to gather opinions and ideas from all across the world. Get in touch with our community team if you want to know who is the ambassador in your region, or maybe you even want to become a part of the network. Let me introduce you to one of them. Here is 82 Square Studio from Spain.
Yo, hello everybody. I would say welcome back to the channel, but not this time. Welcome to almost the Farmcon 21, and I would like to take these seconds, this short period that Giant gave us to thank you. But to thank you all, to thank the community, to thank Giants, because it's been a rough year. And in this rough year, for example, us, we were nowhere. We were nothing 1 year ago. And today, here we are, as an ambassador and as part of an amazing community. Thanks to Giants, thanks to Giant Software, thanks to Farming Simulator, and thanks to the community that make this game big and this game an amazing entertainment for our daily basis. So, from here, 82 Square Studio, be nice, play nice, and enjoy the Farmcon 21. See you guys. Bye.
So, a year ago at Farmcon 20, Stefan Geiger already showed you something we have been working on for Farming Simulator 22, sound improvements. Back then, he had to stay a bit technical because we didn't want to give away too much from Farming Simulator 22 yet, but now is the time to show you some examples. Christian, can you show us something?
Sure, we can show you something. Hello, my name is Chris Caprani. I'm the sound designer here at Giant Software. What am I currently working on? Well, first of all, we're working on the new engine vehicle sounds using our custom engine synthesis tool. So what does the new vehicle audio system actually mean? Well, first of all, the system is completely new for Farming Simulator 22. The audio department has collaborated with the programming team here at Giants to create a bespoke software tool that allows us to apply dynamic audio processing to vehicle engine recordings. This results in vehicle sounds that transform in real time to the in-game environment. So whether you're driving on a flat surface, or you're driving uphill, or you're carrying a trailer that weighs a ton, you're going to hear many changes in the vehicle engine sound to reflect these various situations. The first addition to the new engine sounds is that the vehicle engine recordings and the vehicle exhaust recordings are now processed independently. This means that there's a much more realistic bass response as the RPM level increases. The vehicles now have a much more accurate sonic representation of weight and size. The main new feature of the engine audio system is the implementation of dynamic load processing, which simulates the sound of an engine that has various resistances and loads applied to it. The first step in creating a realistic engine sound was to analyze the sounds of tractors that we have personally recorded. We compared the sound of the exhaust in two different states, offload and onload. Where offload is when the vehicle is stationary and the engine has no major resistance, and onload where the engine has a large amount of resistance, such as whilst pulling a cultivator to cultivate a field. By analysing these two exhaust recordings, we could then isolate the difference in frequency content, or in simple terms, we could take the exact frequencies that make a normal engine sound like an engine under load. Once we had these specific frequencies, we sent the values to our programmer who created an EQ profile within our engine tool. This EQ profile is essentially just an audio process that changes the frequency spectrum of a sound. So, by applying the EQ profile to a normal exhaust recording, we can simulate an exhaust under a large load. But to make the engine load sound more dynamic, within the tool we have defined how much of the EQ profile, or how little, that can be used, depending on the load of the vehicle within game. At higher loads, whilst going up a steep hill for example, we use the maximum EQ profile, whereas with no vehicle load, no EQ is applied. The load points in between these min and max values are tuned to ensure that the engine sound has sensitivity towards varying loads. During the analysis of tractor engines, we also noticed other sonic changes that can occur when load is applied, one of which is volume oscillation. Especially when operating at higher RPMs and under a high load, the volume of an exhaust quickly moves up and down, giving it a spluttering effect. That sounds really cool. This is also simulated within the new audio tool via a low-frequency oscillator that is synced to the RPM of the engine. Finally, we have added some distortion that is directly linked to the load parameters. This adds some nice sounding aggression to the vehicle. Hopefully you can see how the vehicles in Farming Simulator 22 will have a lot of character and life in their sound design. Let's take a listen to some examples in-game. Driving on a flat surface, we can hear the initial load of the engine because it has to use a lot of power to propel the vehicle forward. However, at maximum velocity and with the increased forward momentum, the engine has less resistance, so you hear very little load sound and much more of the transmission sound. As we drive over uneven terrain, we can hear the tone of the engine constantly shift as it adapts to the various changes in load. When using a vehicle in a high load situation, the audio processing will have a much more dramatic effect on the engine sound. The application of maximum load EQ, bass enhancement and distortion all contribute to a more strained and aggressive engine tone. Furthermore, we also have some other sound improvements related to the vehicles in Farming Simulator 22. We have implemented a number of details related specifically to the indoor vehicle perspective, making this perspective much more immersive. Windscreen wiper sounds have been implemented into the new system with accurate spatial information. So, if you are using the indoor vehicle perspective and the vehicle has wipers on the front, side and back of the cabin, you will actually hear the sounds coming from those exact locations. For all vehicles that have manual transmission, we have also added gear shift sounds. For vintage vehicles, we have also added custom filtering and volume adjustments for the audio within the cabin to simulate old cabin technology. Compared with modern vehicles that are featured in the game, the sound within the cabin of a vintage vehicle is less filtered and brighter. To summarize, we've developed a completely new audio engine tool which gives the vehicles a real sense of personality and dynamism. We have a new animation system whereby we can accurately synchronize sounds with the unique animations of the attachments. Finally, we've added some indoor vehicle perspective details such as windscreen wiper, seat suspension and gear change sounds. When we consider that each of these individual elements will be in a constant state of change, all whilst working together in unison, we can say with confidence that the vehicle sound design for Farming Simulator 22 is the most ambitious and realistic in the series so far.
Thank you, Christian. That was already super interesting, but Niels has even more to show us.
Hi, I'm Nils, one of the audio dudes here at Giant Software. At the moment, I'm mainly working on the sounds for the attachments, meaning the animation sounds for machinery such as grubbers, sowers, trailers, and so on. Today, I'm pleased to be able to show you a little of the new audio attachment system and the options it offers us. In the real world, dumping, retracting, or tilting a trailer creates a huge range of different sounds, such as when a trailer's tailgate opens, or various hydraulic sounds, or what we call the metal impact sounds of metal hitting metal. For us to be able to design these sounds later as realistically as possible, we visited lots of farmers in the area and further afield, so that we have reference recordings that let us know what each attachment sounds like. These reference sounds later serve us as templates for designing the sounds as realistically and authentically as possible. For FS22, our programmers have built us a really cool tool that allows us to trigger multiple sounds at any point during the animation. That's why we've designed a lot of individual sounds that, when played together, create a completely new sound. With the new audio tool, we can essentially decide which sound should play at which time during an animation. Multiple timelines are displayed for us for each attachment, one per animation to be precise, and the timeline corresponds to the duration of that animation. So when we start an animation, a green line moves along the timeline. We can then use coding to select a point in time on this timeline, and set when which sound should play. For example, when starting a trailer's dumping animation, you hear the tailgates opening, the different metal impact sounds of metal hitting metal, and finally the hydraulic sound of the cylinder. In order to be able to trigger the different sounds for extending or retracting a trailer, the coding allows us to effectively enter a direction, meaning that if the green line is moving from left to right in the positive direction, we can select one or more sounds that should play. And if the green line moves in the negative direction, meaning from right to left, a different sound should play. For example, when retracting the trailer, we hear what we call cylinder punches. These are sounds that the cylinder's smaller piston, which comprises several components, makes when it meets the next larger in size. To put it simply, the new audio attachment system means that each attachment will have its own individual sound for each animation. We hope you like the new feature as much as we do. But that's not all. We have another feature for you that makes the driver cabin sounds more realistic and detailed. When you're driving a tractor or another vehicle, the engine isn't the only thing you hear. You also hear the rattling or shaking of different objects in the cabin, such as the seat, which is constantly moving, or the gear shift, which gently swings to the left and right when driving. In order to imitate these sounds, we've recorded a range of reference sounds in several cabins, and then later used them to design a loop that dynamically changes depending on the terrain you're driving over. Depending on the steering and unevenness of the terrain, the loop sounds more intense or weaker. It's pitched higher or lower, becomes louder, quieter, or even completely silent when driving over smooth terrain. In general terms, you can say that the more uneven the terrain is, the wilder the cabin sounds become. That's it from us audio dudes. Back to Martin.
Thank you, Niels. I'm sure you still have a lot of questions, and I'd like to remind you again that you can always join the official Farming Simulator Discord server and chat with us there. We will be there during and after the show to chat with you. And now it's time for another Q&A session where we answer questions you have sent us yesterday after the show. We went through them early this morning and asked as many people as we could to get the answers. Here they are.
Welcome to day 3 and the second Q&A with Kenneth and me, Lizartan.
We're back.
Yeah, we are back. We asked you guys to send in questions, and boy, we got like more than 900 questions yesterday night. But of course, we had to select a few, right? What we did is we filtered out all questions that were just doubled and 10 times and like 50 times. These are gone. There were a lot of in-depth questions about modding, about a lot of aspects of the game that we couldn't just get an answer in the shortness of time, right? I mean, you know, it's Friday already, and we would have to chase down the developers to get these answers in. Impossible. So we nailed it down to like about 20 questions that we found. If your question wasn't in there, it doesn't mean that we don't want to answer it. Maybe we can't answer it because the time is not there. Maybe it wasn't mentioned often enough, because we of course picked the questions that we've seen very often, right? The questions that a lot of you guys asked, because if we can or have to nail it down to 20 questions, we have to go with the ones that most people want to like.
Yeah, there definitely is some overlap going on.
Absolutely is. So we got it down to 20 questions, and you know it already. We're gonna ping pong a little bit, make sure that everyone answers the question. Of course, we have some developers chased down for a couple of your easier questions. Again, if you feel like there are more complicated questions you really need to ask, jump into the Q&A here in Discord or try to ask it over the next weeks. We are still there. You can always contact the community team. Let's start with, well, a simple one. What fruit types are there going to be available in greenhouses?
This is something, since we've been talking about strawberries yesterday.
That's how
everybody's
the
like, what's coming up?
Yeah.
So yeah, the greenhouses are a little bit different this time around. We will have strawberries, tomatoes, and salad, basically. And these are going to be, as we've shown, part of the production chain system. So they will basically produce pallets, and you can then further distribute them, sell them, whatever you want to do with the production chain system.
Nice. And yeah, that was a question we combined them. Like, there are a million questions about what's in the greenhouses, how do you use greenhouses,
what's
all
in the
this
strawberries box.
You answered them all. Well done.
Another one for you, Lars. Is there no season pass for FS22?
We've seen that question a lot. That's why we picked it. There will be a season pass. We will announce season pass a little bit later. Give us a couple more weeks. As you all know, we are self-publishing, so some things take a little bit more time right now. But yeah, there will be a season pass. There will be a season pass for PC as well. I've seen that question coming up a lot. We're gonna announce that soon-ish. Ish. When will modders, and that one, there are millions of modder questions. When will modders get their hands on the Giants editor? Well, as you don't know, and I don't know, we had to ask Stefan Maurus again, and here's what he had to say.
The Giants editor will be released like almost the same like we did with FS19. So yeah, you should receive some information around the release.
There you go.
Nice. This guy is there every night right now, answering all the questions. He's our answered
star.
Like a million questions yesterday, and you're gonna see him a little bit more often doing that Q&A. Thank you, Stefan, for doing this. It's really awesome. Okay, that one, I'm not sure if you can answer it, but we're gonna see. Do you think it will be possible for modders to make it so that we can select the number of days in each month? Because that one is super complicated, but man, that has been a big topic over Farmcon.
Do I think will it be possible? Well, I believe with our community and our talented modders, anything is possible. Anything's possible down the road. We've seen the feedback that you guys have given us over the first season's impressions that Jos gave us, and also in the Q&A that happened 2 nights ago. We're definitely trying to see what we can do about it. There might still be some changes. As we've said at the start of the Farmcon, nothing is final yet. This is still kind of
in development.
In development, yes. We're live developing while doing crazy events like Farmcon as well. So we will see what's going to happen post-launch. I'm sure that it's definitely, I checked with Jos, it's definitely possible maybe to do this like via mods or something, but we'll just have to see how it's going to look after launch, what the situation is.
Yeah. And if I recall correctly, Jos actually mentioned during the Q&A session on day 1 that it will be possible. It's very complicated.
Yeah,
but modders can do it.
It's a very complicated and delicate matter because it's very deep in terms of how the script works and everything for the game. But yeah, I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff that modders have been able to pull off. So if that's the question, if I think it's possible, hell yes. So here we go. This one's for you, Lars, and this is the most asked
over all of
yes.
Farmcon. I know.
Over these last 2 days. What's with the ominous AI helper menu that we saw?
Okay, so here's the deal. Blah, blah. Yeah, well, we won't talk about this during Farmcon. Sorry, guys, this will not happen, but we're gonna announce or talk about that in the near future.
Soon.
It is a not yet announced feature.
Yes.
That's what we can say, I guess. And it's one of the features that when I was asked, what do you like a lot that you can't speak about? It's one of these. You'll see, it will be awesome, but yeah, not now. Sorry. So, what about forestry? Will trees have falling sounds? That's an interesting one. And we just had, I believe, when this Q&A starts, we just had sound presentations. I think the Q&A is after them. Might be before, I'm not sure. Anyway,
maybe it's going on right now.
We're going to ask Christian what he's saying.
For FS22, we are adding the sounds of falling trees, and also the forestry machinery, such as the harvesters, has much improved animation sounds as well. And everything else is currently a work in progress.
I'm still looking at the,
yes,
the screen.
I was just about to say another dangerous monitor right there.
Yeah, another dangerous screen. But yeah, we've seen Christian a lot doing the sound presentation already. I think sounds are awesome. And with that, we shift, and I love that, we shift to a different topic, to gear shifts.
Gear shifting.
Because there were several questions after we announced, well, you did technically announce it yesterday.
Yeah, more or less.
We picked 2 questions that are, I think, the most interesting for you guys because we've seen them a lot. The first one is, how will manual shift work? And we're going to give that one to Stefan Maurus, who introduced this thing yesterday, so he can tell us how it works.
So the gear shifting is working like in real life. So we got for each tractor an individual setup like the gears are in real life. So you normally have some gears and then some groups, and you can shift them manually, or you turn off that setting and you let the game shift automatically.
There you go.
There we go. With that being said, follow-up question for you. Will the gear shift work with the gear shifter such as the one from Logitech G25 or 27?
I mean, with all wheels, it's currently still an ongoing development in terms of what the basically the default key bindings are and everything, but it will be possible. And we're still like figuring things out, where it's going to be put at, because all of these templates basically need to be designed from scratch, partly depending on what kind of wheel you're using, but we're doing our best to try and cover them all. And of course, always you have the possibility to just like configure the stuff to your heart's content.
Yeah, but you made a lot of people happy with that answer, that it works. I can promise. I've seen Discord yesterday. It was crazy.
Good. Another one for you, Lars. Why were some streamers chosen as ambassadors versus modders or people who create actual game content?
Yeah, I picked that one on purpose for that list. It wasn't asked too often, but I think it's very important to...
Yeah, I've seen it mentioned a couple times.
I think it's important to explain what an ambassador is, a partner is, a modder is, and an influencer is. Because the ambassador program is just one tiny bit of our overall strategy for the community, right? The ambassador program means that whoever we picked as an ambassador speaks a language I don't speak, or the community team doesn't speak, like Brazilian Portuguese, or Polish, or whatever we have, Romanian, Spanish, we have all these languages, French. You have seen a lot of French people over the last 2 days. That makes them an ambassador for us, because they need to take our messages and bring that to players who don't speak German or English, because that's the only 2 languages we speak. At the same time, we want the feedback from these players as well, and we need them to bring, let's say, Romanian feedback to us. So the ambassadors are picked on purpose with languages we don't speak or time zones we are not in. Like, there are American ambassadors. Yes, they speak English, so do I, but they speak English at times where I'm sleeping. Now with Kerminator in, we're gonna see changes to the ambassador program when it comes to the English-speaking ambassadors, because we need to adjust this, but this will be for after Farmcon. Right, modders do have their own part. It's the mod hub with the mod hub messengers, where they can contact our QA team actually,
the mod hub team,
and talk to people who are more, well, with modding. You know, I have no idea about modding. There's no point in modders talking to me about modding because I can't help them. I can't answer things. So we need the mod hub team for that. Same thing with the partner program, which is technically a affiliate program with benefits. That one is for influencers, because they are the ones bringing out our messages to viewers. So every part of the community has a reason to be there. The ambassadors are for languages we don't speak or time zones we are not in. Yeah. That's the basic thing. We're gonna make some adjustments over the next weeks, you will see, but that is why. And I've seen so many people asking, why is that an ambassador? It is because he speaks the right language and he is in touch with the people we need to be in touch with. Modders have a very dedicated community, but they are not exactly the best in just getting out messages to our players, to the viewers. That's what influencers
Yeah, if I can chime in very quickly, the modding community itself, something that we're always amazed by is just about how these people also interact with each other. So oftentimes if you have problems with modding, we have like several channels, be it on the Discord or our forum, and people like to help each other out, basically help them raise those skills in certain areas, and that's just something that's really, really great in my opinion.
Absolutely, yes. So, and if you are a modder, just stay tuned for changes to all these programs. You'll see. Okay, will there be mod conversation function in the Giants editor? Conversion. And sorry, again, my English, you know, still German. That's why I do the German translation usually. Will there be mod conversion function in the Giants editor? That one is for Stefan Marus again, and we're gonna ask him.
At the moment, it's not planned to have a conversion function like we had with FS19, just because the difference between the FS19 XMLs and FS22 XMLs is not that huge. And you also receive an information in the game if you get an attribute that does not exist anymore.
This question pops up every Farmcon, by the way.
Yeah, that's true.
I remember that one being there when we announced Farming Simulator 19 as well. So it's there all the time. Back to steering wheels and all these things. Will Farming Simulator 22 support force feedback?
Yeah, that's something that's been asked in the Q&A yesterday, where Stefan was also a part of, and he also chimed in a little bit. We're not planning on it for FS22 in particular, but it's something we might have a look at down the road, definitely.
Cool. Oh, simple questions. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, this one also, I've read it a bunch of times. Will there be some kind of simplified GPS?
Yeah. It's just in there because so many people ask, because the answer is very quick. It's no. We don't have GPS in Farming Simulator 22, so it's not there. But we know a lot of people asked, so that's why we have this question here. And of course, because we know a lot of you asked for it, we know that it's something you guys would love to see. And of course, it's on our plate, but it's just not there for Farming Simulator 22 yet. In pictures, some tractors have license plates. Will this feature be on all tractors and combines? You can talk a little bit about the license plate feature here.
People like the license plates, it seems. So I checked in game just to get a little bit of an overview. License plates actually will be available on most vehicles, not all of them. It's always depending also if they would have like the space if we have the space on the model to implement it, or where it would be in real life. So we're trying to get that feature onto as many as possible. So it's unfortunately not all, but a lot. Yeah.
How does it work though? I mean, we spoke about you can customize them.
Yeah,
do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, you can basically customize them in terms of what kind of symbols you want to put on there, be it like numbers or of course
letters.
Simple letters like that. We have a bad word filter on
There's
that as well.
There's a question about that later.
Yeah. And you can also change the design a little bit, and they are also tied, we revealed that yesterday, also tied specifically to what map you're playing on, which also means that of course modders might for their mod map use a different kind of license plate, for example.
Nice.
All right, this one's also an interesting one. Can we take on more than only one contract?
Well, interestingly enough, we saw a lot of feedback about that over the last 2 days, and this question was there a lot as well. I've spoken to the team, and I think we mentioned yesterday that the whole contract mission thing is still work in progress. We are still working on it. It's not done. So it is planned, from what I heard. Our developers told me it is planned, but we can't promise anything yet. As we said, still in development.
It's one of those little topics that's just really wavy. It's still in development.
Absolutely is. So
can't narrow anything down.
We're gonna find out soon, I hope.
Soonish.
So that one is something I'm gonna mispronounce a lot again. Maybe not. If I deliver a pallet of flour to
flour,
that's why I couldn't even in the podcast. It's your. You ask it.
All right, I will ask it. If I deliver a pallet of flour to another player's production chain, will they be able to use it?
And I'm the one answering it. No, I'm not. I'm gonna give that over to Mr. Marius again.
Yes, that's indeed the case.
Marius.
If you sell your flour to another player, he'll be able to use it for his productions.
That was quick.
That was super quick.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, we talked a little bit about it during our presentation. If you have not seen the presentation, Can they already rewatch
It's on YouTube.
It's already
Watch
on YouTube, right?
Of course, it is. Completely watch it. It was awesome.
Definitely.
And it revealed a lot of things about Farming Simulator 22. You should technically rewatch the entirety of Farmcon, really. There are a lot of cool stuff
So
in
much
there.
information.
So that one, super interesting. We put it on here, even if it was only asked once, but I think it is a very, very interesting question in general. My girlfriend is disabled and needs special key bindings that we optimized over months. Will we be able to transfer our key bindings from Farming Simulator 19 to Farming Simulator 22?
Okay, so I checked this with some of our internal developers as well. Since Farming Simulator 22 is like a new game that brings in new features, there will be like changes to the input binding file itself that you can like adjust. It probably won't be able to just like copy paste the whole file, but you will be able to like copy and paste parts of it. But the new file basically will have new different bindings in there, so it won't just work with a simple copy paste. I can't really say for sure how it is in this special case, but if you did like a lot of customization, I think probably the easiest way would be to just start up the game, check the input bindings, and then copy over the specific changes that were needed before.
So there are probably extra lines for things that haven't been in Farming Simulator 19.
Exactly.
So find the lines you changed, you adjusted, and copy them, and then you should be fine.
That's probably the easiest way to go about it. Another one we've seen yesterday in the chat, actually. Will the game have VR support?
No, it won't. It's not a VR game, so it won't have VR support. I know it has been asked a lot, but here's the thing. Creating a game in VR is a very, very difficult task. It takes a lot of time because you have to make the whole game basically
And
VR
it's
ready.
different as well.
It is, yeah. It's basically like creating a new game almost. And this takes a lot of time, and we don't spend that time to do that right now. Of course, it's on our plate. It would be awesome, right? To drive a VR tractor. I would love it. Man, I have VR at home. It would be awesome.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of time and is not planned for Farming Simulator 22. Will Farming Simulator 22 have bird sounds? Didn't we have bird sounds?
Sound question.
Yeah, it's a sound question, and we're gonna hand it over to our second sound guy.
FS22 will have bird sounds, yes, and the trigger frequency changes depending on daytime, seasons, and the location the player is currently on.
Yeah.
There we go.
And if I can just say the map sounds, they sound amazing.
You should have seen it right now. I mean, the sound presentation is just over, basically, so you should have seen how good the sound is now. It is really, really good. If you don't believe it, re-watch it. I think we said that like 3 times this Q&A already.
Yeah.
Anyway, 4 more to go. Will NPC traffic be faster? And I picked that question on purpose because we've seen a lot of questions regarding NPC traffic in general.
Yeah.
How does it work? Is it faster? Is it more intelligent? All these things. We picked one of these questions, but it represents all your NPC traffic questions. And Kenny is about to explain how NPC traffic works in Farming Simulator 22.
Yeah, so you might have seen already in the gameplay demo. They've been driving around quite fast. It was actually one of the, since we were demoing the game on Elm Creek, what you saw in the background was the inner state of the map. So of course on there the traffic vehicles will definitely be faster, and just in general we reworked a little bit about how the like collision detection works. So it should be much better, and that's why they basically can now drive faster. They will like recognize any collisions that come up a little bit earlier. So yeah, just in general, NPC traffic will be faster because collision detection works a bit better.
Nice. And you still can't push them off roads. I've seen that question a lot. Guys, this is a rated E for everyone game, or FSK 0 as we call it in German. You just don't push cars off streets on games like this, okay? Not gonna happen.
Okay, here's the one we teased earlier about the profanity filter. Will it be better in general, Lars, and not block words that make no sense? For example, basement.
No. So here's the thing with profanity filters. To understand how these filters work, you need to understand how evil players work, technically, right? If you block a word, then they will find a way around it. A very useful way that we have seen a lot in the past, at least if you're as old as me, is putting XX, bad word, XX. So the profanity filter has to search for this specific word, even if it is surrounded by special characters or letters or numbers or whatever. And because we have so many languages we cover, of course, sometimes it doesn't make any sense because a word is not that bad in German as it would be in English. For example, the word for overweight people in German, easy, in English, swear word. And that's why this filter usually works in a way that sometimes you don't understand, because you're like, why is this word blocked? It is a normal word. Like basement was an example here. It is a normal word. Why is it blocked?
Might be in a different language.
If you just cut it down to specific letters and they are a swear word, we need to block it. It is, unfortunately, in order to get rid of the evil people. I know it's sad for people who just don't want to do anything bad with it.
And it's super sad for people that might have something included in just their name. We've seen like that come up, sadly, but it's just the way it works.
It is just the way we need to adjust these filters. Of course, we need to make sure that, you know, they can't do bad things with it. Again, rated E for everyone. We need to protect the people as good as possible, and that unfortunately means sometimes the profanity filter is not as cool as it should be. The last one for you. Is the minimap dynamically? My God, is the minimap dynamically updated, like when we fertilize the field?
The minimap itself, no. It has like a few dynamic features where you can like see players and stuff in multiplayer, for example. But all of these like filter options, they are still reserved for like the main map menu where you have the big overview. Something that might help with that, though, we've seen it a little bit in the gameplay demos and other videos we've shown so far, and I haven't seen too many people talking about it. Maybe they haven't spotted it yet, but we do have a little like information window in the lower right of the heads-up display in FS22. So basically anything you're looking at, you will have the information right there, be it like a field or, for example, like a tractor vehicle or something that belongs to another farm. You will see who's the owner of that and so on and so forth. And it's like very like context dependent. You could be looking at a production chain, for example, and see all the information there. And it's actually a really cool, one of my personal features, because it's just so, it helps with playing, it helps with testing as well.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because you get the information directly while looking at stuff. It's a really great and powerful little addition to the game, in my opinion.
One of these tiny little, how did you call them yesterday? Geek features?
Geek features,
features that are useful, but not too important, but they can be important if you play.
Yeah, exactly.
Last one, and we kept the best one for last.
Yeah,
the most asked one.
This is probably 500 of these 900 questions you've gotten.
Not joking.
Here it is, Lars. Will there be crossplay in the game?
So first of all, for those of you who have no idea what this question is about, crossplay means that PC can play with console can play with PC, Xbox can play with PlayStation, all these things, right? This question has been there all the time right now because some of the shops announced it, basically. It was on Xbox shop, it said crossplay. Steam had it for like a few hours before they took it down. And the reason for that is, and I'm gonna explain that very quick, we are talking to everyone right now because we really want to have crossplay in the game, and we do our best to bring it to you guys. That means we talk to Xbox, we talk to PlayStation, we talk to, you know, all the different people that we need to talk to make sure that crossplay is in the game. However, as of this Farmcon, these talks are not over, right? There is no definite yes, there is no definite no. So for now, crossplay is still possible, but we can't promise, but we can't tell you it won't be there either. We are still talking to these guys, and as soon as we have a definite answer, then we're gonna let you all know if crossplay will be in the game or not. Fingers crossed that it works, but we don't know, and we are working hard to make sure we get it.
Hopefully we'll know soon-ish.
Hopefully we will know. We should know soon-ish. I mean, it's not that far away anymore from release, right?
Yeah.
It's almost August already.
Yeah, yesterday was the 22nd, 4 months to go.
Basically 4 months to go. So a lot of questions that you have asked, we should have answers sooner or later because we are basically on the final steps of our development circle and we should know sooner or later. That's it. Thank you again Thank you all of you for asking so many questions.
Yes,
Sorry
thanks.
if your question wasn't covered. As we said, there were like 900 of them, so we couldn't cover them all. It was an insane amount. I was super shocked when I had to find 20 out of it. It was like, oh boy. Well, so thank you everyone. We hope you enjoyed Farmcon so far, and of course, keep enjoying Farmcon because it's not over. If you have missed something, check it out again. And if there are questions, come to Discord. We are answering questions there as we speak, basically, and as many as we can. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy Farmcon. Thank you, Kenny, for being here again. You answered like a million questions over the last 2 days.
I tried my best.
And probably a million more today. And then, everyone, have a great time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
We are almost at the end of Farmcon 21, but we have one more special for you. Remember the next Farming Simulator League tournament takes place this weekend? Check out the website for all the information about it. Currently leading at the top of the Season 3 standings are Trelleborg, followed by Corteva AgriScience in second place and Valtra in third. The teams have shown amazing skills and teamwork in the esports tournament before, but we wanted to know, how good are they at stacking bales with real tractors? Obviously, we couldn't do this here in the studio, but folks from the German magazine Stark, Faszination und Landtechnik prepared an arena for them. So, let's see, who is the real Lord Baler in the Stark Challenge 2021? It's also time for our final Twitch chat raffle. If you are watching this stream on Twitch, you can now take part and maybe win one of 4 bundles of Farming Simulator 22 on PC, plus vouchers for a dedicated server hosted and sponsored by Nitrado. For those who don't win and live in a German-speaking country, there's another giveaway during the Start Challenge for these regions only. So watch out. Okay, I always wanted to say that. Gentlemen, start your engines!
Hello everyone and welcome to the Stark Challenge 2021 here at Farmcon. I'm Lars Meinschreck or Lizardon, and with me is Mr. Kerminator. Hello.
Hello.
So we both have casted several FSL tournaments, but this one is very, very special. It's not an FSL tournament, but it's with the FSL teams doing real-life bale stacking.
Right, and we've seen them dominate the Farming Simulator League arena. We know they can handle stacking bales in that, but can they do it in real life? I think that a lot of fans of the FSL and Farming Simulator in general have been intrigued to see them put their skills to the test in the real world.
Yeah, let's see how that turns out. I'm not 100% sure how this competition works just yet, because we are just watching it. I think we see some snippets. From what I get here is that you have to stack bales, apparently it's 3, and then drive through that course, and I don't know what's gonna happen afterwards. Probably unload them or something. We will find out. Yeah, they're gonna unload them in the end, and then I guess best time wins. That's how that's going to work, right. Probably.
And who do we have today? We have Valtra, Krona, and Trelleborg.
Exactly.
And are the teams taking place?
Yeah, they all do German interviews. So once they start the interview, I'm going to translate it for you really, really quick so that you have a rough idea of what's going on. And then we will see how that works. So this is Team Valtra. We know them from the FSL, and now they are here. There they are, wearing their jerseys. Very nice. I love it.
So serious.
So she asked, what's your favorite machine in real life and in Farming Simulator? He loves Youngtimers. But at the moment it's Valtra T-Series.
Imagine that.
And in the game I modded a Valtra T so that he's nice for me. That's what he said. So he's a modder.
Gotcha.
Good old Hightower. So, here we go. First things first, load the bales, I guess.
So we've got a Manitou telehandler here.
Yeah, I heard they are very powerful in game. Let's see how powerful they are when you play that, well, in real life. There we go, Monty's
no banning of the Manitou here.
No, you can't ban it out right now. And then, yeah, as guest, you have to stack these bales. Oh. Well, he knows what to do, that for sure. I actually remember this guy. I worked with him over Agritechnica when he was buying a new tractor back in, when was the last one? Was it 19? I think it was 2019. So he definitely is a farmer. He knows exactly what's going on. And yeah.
Well, that's got to be useful, having the skills already coming in.
Absolutely. Because
I like to say I only pretend to be a farmer on the internet.
Same. Absolutely same. So just because you know how to play the game, you don't know how to operate one of these beasts. But yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's super focused. I wish he would be as focused when he's playing Farming Simulator League, you know. Well, that was me. I hope he will never watch that video.
We won't tell them. Hopefully,
no.
He won't find out.
No. We just sent him a version without us talking, you know, just music. That will work. But yeah, he's doing very well, stacking these bales. As I said, just from what I saw in the snippets, I guess you have to stack 3 of them. So he's picking up the 3rd one in just a second.
He may have found this a little bit harder if he was having to use mouse and keyboard inside the menu too.
Yeah, probably.
Just a guess I'm throwing out there.
But this tells why some people ask, can I play this with a wheel? Yeah, can I use a steering wheel in Farming Simulator League? No, you can't, but now you know why they want to do it.
Right.
That's how they used to do it. But yeah, that looks good. I don't know if it's fast or not. It looks fast to me, but, you know, no comparison.
Right, well,
yeah?
Speed maybe isn't quite as much of a key here as it is in the FSL just because of the nature of the competition, but he's not really gotten stuck. Nice smooth motions. You can definitely tell he knows what he's doing.
Okay, he is done. Next up, well, probably put a belt. Yeah, there are the belts, making sure that they are not falling down. And you can tell they try to be fast, though.
Right. You got to be fast here now. This is the time where you can actually use your body and do this as fast as possible. Little bit, least time wasted as possible. I'm sure required in this stage.
Still making sure it's nice, though. You can tell.
Yeah, you want to make sure you're not going to lose it.
Make sure it's nice, looks good. You know, style points given, definitely. Yeah, super useful to have Hightower there. This guy is more than 2 meters tall, so you know he's just like, oh yeah, I can see that. It's easy.
Living up to the name Hightower, then.
Yeah, absolutely is. That's where he got it from, though. This guy's a giant. He's like 22 years old.
We have a few giants in the Farming Simulator League.
Absolutely.
We've seen.
You should have seen Team Amazon last year. Holy moly. They were all giants. But yeah, Hightower definitely is one of the tallest, probably the tallest in the entire league. Super useful here when he's just, you know, fiddling with the belt. 3 minutes 44 so far, and yeah, well, as I said, because they're the first ones, I don't know if they are super fast right now or not. We're gonna see that when I think Team Krone is the second one, when Team Krone starts. For now, it looks good to me. They're doing well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice smooth start. I think that the biggest thing is to try to not make mistakes, and they haven't really made any yet, as we can tell.
Yeah, and now they are driving out. Let's see. So there's this parkour, and from what I got is there are tennis balls on these things. Is that even happening now, or are they? No, they are not there yet. They are just driving. This is where you can be fast, right? This looks like something you can do very quick. Super focus as well.
You still got to be careful to not go too fast here, although they did strap those bales in nicely.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't be going anywhere.
And again, you can tell they did it a lot because these belts, they look professional. You know?
They really did.
They were too long, so they made them nice. They know exactly what's going on.
Is he driving a Fent here? Is that what they... Yeah, there it is. Now we get to see it. Stropman trailer.
See, there are these tennis balls on top of these. What are they even called in English?
We call them a cone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So do you lose points if you knock a tennis ball off?
I guess so. That's what they are there for. That's at least what I imagine is happening here. Yeah, very focused, very nice.
He nudged that one a little bit, but the tennis ball stayed on.
This looks like that's the hardest part of the entire challenge, if you ask me.
I think that I would have just wiped them all out and then just said I'm here at the finish line. What's my point penalty for knocking all of this off?
Yeah. Just bring out the dogs. I'm throwing tennis balls. So they can have a little bit of fun. No, but it looks good. This guy, yeah. Scotty knows exactly how to do it. Oh. Yeah, well, no. He's a professional. Easy peasy. If no one knocks anything down, is it even interesting then?
Right. I think, well, in the Farming Simulator League, some of the best moments are when mistakes happen.
Exactly.
But I think you want even less mistakes to happen when it comes to real life equipment.
Yeah. And they're doing very well. I mean, this looks really good.
Nice and smooth.
It actually looks like it would be fun. I want to do that now. I want to be part of that challenge, but I guess it's too late.
It might be too late, but maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe. No, that one? No. Ah, yeah.
Oh,
he
there
kicked
went
one down. Nice. This is a penalty for sure. Not good, not good.
I'm guessing it's time added onto your time.
Yeah, that's probably
There's no
how it
point
works. That's
scoring
usually
system,
how it works in sports, isn't it?
Right.
Like if you have something that's just where you just try to be fast, then if you make a mistake, it just adds to your time. So that's probably what they do here.
So now they are unloading them? Is that what's going on here?
I guess so. We'll know in a second. Are you even, what about these belts? Make them nice. I can't believe you're just throwing them. The hell? But yeah. Oh no, they do it. Okay. And now it's Hightower's turn to unload these things. So, again, I don't know if they are fast or not, but I'm quite sure they had fun. Because that looks like they're having a lot of fun here. Honestly.
I wonder, these guys, I think, naturally are competitive when it comes to the FSL, so I'm sure there was a bit of competitiveness going into the
for sure.
Stark bale stacking challenge as well, but I think they probably also see this as a way to just have a little bit of fun and show their skills out in a different way in the real world setting.
Yeah, and I mean, these teams haven't seen each other for a long time. We shouldn't forget that we had no offline tournaments for like a year now, more than a year actually. The last one was IEM Katowice in March of last year. So these guys haven't seen each other for a while because we had to wait until it was safe and secure to do these things.
Right.
So they are all, of course, they are all tested. They are all, what's the English word? Vaccinated. They got their needle.
Right.
What's the English word? You can help. You're the English caster. Come on.
You were doing all right. I was just gonna let you go with it and see how far you could go.
Well,
I do like to see things, hopefully can start returning back to normal because I've only done casting for FSL tournaments online, and of course, I'm a lot further away than you from the studio. But it would be nice to start seeing the players back in the studio and everyone just together again, because there's just as much fun as the online tournaments are. There's just something special about being able to see the players' reactions live and how excited they get when they make a good play or, win a round at the last second. So hopefully we can get back to that at some point in the near future. But it's been nice, like you said, for these guys to get out and see each other in person again. And I think that's important for team building.
So what's next now?
He's running.
Oh,
they have to run to the finish line. Aha.
11 minutes.
Yeah. Well, 11, maybe slightly under. Guess we'll see the official time.
There's Team Corona coming in. Good old dealers. And Marshall Maiden. He's the driver. Okay. I get it now.
All right.
Now I know how it works. Shians, what are you happy about today? Yeah, he's basically exactly saying what we said. She was like, so what makes you the most happy to be here today? And he was like, well, to see the guys again, because I haven't in a while, and to drive real machinery. So yeah.
Right.
Sounds good. We know the drill by now. Let's see if they are faster. I'm quite sure these guys, I mean, this is, I don't know for how long you played Farming Simulator, but do you remember BM modding? Very, very
BM
famous.
modding? Is that what you said?
BM? Like,
I think I've heard the name.
Yeah, they turned into Creative Mesh. They are creating the Straw Harvest add-on.
Okay, yeah.
These are the guys creating the Straw Harvest add-on. So they know a lot about the game, but they do know a lot about farming as well, because they are, if I'm not mistaken, they are all farmers. I remember that when I was chatting to these guys a while ago, they were all like, oh, we can't do something on this weekend because we are all out harvesting and stuff. So they should be good. That's what I'm saying here. They should be good.
No pressure then.
No pressure, but I expect a lot from Team Krone. I'm quite sure all three are all farmers, though. I think for Trelleborg, definitely Trelleborg has a lot of farmers. And yeah, it was the same for Valtra.
I think this happens more than we realize, or maybe not we, but fans of Farming Simulator maybe don't realize that a lot of the times real-life farmers come in from work in the fields all day and actually play a little bit of Farming Simulator.
Yeah.
There are exceptions, of course, people like me who have only ever played Farming Simulator. But hey, maybe I can give my hand at some real equipment here soon. Because, yeah, this would have been fun to take part in, but I'm not sure if they trust me to drive this Manitou.
Well, at one point they might. You know, get some guidance for like an hour or two, and then you should be fine to at least not destroy everything. But who knows? Yeah, a lot of these guys are farmers. A lot of our players are farmers. Of course, not all of them. I think, well, we both prove that because I'm not a farmer. I'm from a big city in Germany. Well, compared to your cities, it's tiny. But, you know, for Germany, it's big. It's like,
yeah,
I think
I'll soon be moving to the third largest in the U.S.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, as I said, I mean, Duisburg, where I'm from, I think it's like the 12th or 13th largest in Germany, and it has 400,000 people living there, right? So.
Okay.
That's what you call a village, I know. So, we know the drill here. Oh, that was bad. Try again. How can you not? You need someone like Hightower who's big enough to do this. That's exactly where, you know, it is the problem.
Right. I don't think that these FSL teams ever thought height would be a problem for their teams.
No, probably not.
But then we've shown that maybe here in the Stark Challenge, it actually is important.
Yeah.
But they're doing all right.
So next year when they switch around players for the FSL, everyone tries to get Hightower just because of his height.
Just for this. Just for any real life events.
So let's see if they
stacking.
do that nice as well, or if they, you know, I would just throw the rest of it like onto the bales and go like, yeah, well, it will drive now. But I don't know, they are doing it nicely. Look at that. That's how you do it, guys. If you ever wondered how to use these belts, that's... I'm not sure anymore. Yeah, well, yeah, it still looks good. So that's how you do it. That's how you use these belts. Oh, look at him. He's the professional.
They all are, it seems like. But I feel like they are taking longer here than Vulture did.
They are slower. Definitely
maybe
feels
taking
like
a little bit more care, like with how they're tying these up. They almost look like they're putting it into a nice, pretty bow. They're going for a bit of style.
Except for that one, though. But yeah, the first one, the front one looks, well, the back one technically looks a little bit. Well, he tried, but the other two look good. Oh yeah, 4 minute 40. That is slower, I guess. But now the professional is driving. Let's see if he can do it. The other two are like, yeah, we are done. Bye, guys. I still like the Krone jerseys, though. I think they are good.
Anything with green in it is good in my eyes.
Yeah, well, I'm not arguing here. I mean, most of the FSL jerseys look pretty dope. I mean, they were good. So, you have to be fast, my friend, because you have been slow stacking. But yeah, he's going fast. Oh yeah, he is going fast.
Oh, he's, yeah, trying to make up for lost time here, for sure. You can see the dust kicking up behind him.
This guy is a racer. And this is his racing gear. A Fend. Might not be the best for any race, but it's definitely good for tractor racing. So let's see how he handles the tennis ball course, or whatever we call it, the cone course. Basically a tennis court. Oh yeah, well.
Had to slow back down.
Yeah, well, you can't just drive that fast into this, but it still looks faster than the other one, though. At least from, you know, from my feeling, and yeah, that's what happened.
Oh,
you know, too fast.
probably couldn't afford really to knock one of these off because of the time they have to make up, but you also have to weigh the difference between trying to go fast through this and trying not to knock them off.
Oh, that one is killed as well, I guess. Or is it? Yeah, not sure. It looks still good though. He's still fast. I mean, if you are faster than the penalty you are getting, you know, you're still fine.
It's worth it.
Yeah. If you gain like 10 seconds with that, but you lose 5 for a penalty, you still gain 5. So I guess we're gonna see at the very end what these penalties mean. And the referees are watching, and they are having the cameras as well. So they're not real referees, I guess. They are the video referee team.
Oh, video referees.
Oh well, did I just you know scratched a soccer itch?
Right. Do we like video referees? In this we do. In this we do.
I do. I think it's fair. So unload, my friends, and now you have to be super fast because you are very slow.
Yeah, we don't see a live clock here, so I don't know. What do you think? You think it's going to be slower than Vulture overall?
I feel like it's definitely slower. Not too much though, but definitely above 11 seconds for sure. 11 minutes. Well, yeah, it definitely is above 11 seconds as well. But yeah, above 11
You weren't
minutes.
wrong.
I don't think it's 12 minutes though. I'm not sure, but I don't think they are way slower. They look good from you know what they do.
So tell me a little bit about Stark, Lars, because this is something that I think that outside of Germany maybe we aren't as aware of this publication. And tell us a bit about
they have
Stark.
to unload. I forgot about that. So maybe they are slower. Well, Stark is a German newspaper focused on agriculture. So I don't know how many issues they have a year. I think they have one a month.
Okay.
And it's all about agriculture. It's about new machinery. It's about, you know, farming in general. And of course, but it's mainly on the machinery really. So it's well, let me try to get this in English. Because, I mean, I know the newspaper, but it's a German one, right? As I said, mainly on farming machinery. They do a lot with farming games as well. You know, they are actually the ones who started it all back in the days with the Stark Challenge at Agritechnica 2019. It was bale stacking as well. It was in our game. And once that happened, what came out of it is the Farming Simulator League.
There you go.
So without Stark bale stacking back in the days, there would probably not be the same Farming Simulator League that we know today. Right. There would most likely still be an esports.
Stark.
Yeah.
Because I love the FSL, and I know a lot of people do out there as well.
Absolutely. And they do have a raffle where you can win Farming Simulator 22 and a merchandise box or something. It was too fast, I couldn't see.
Ooh.
Next time they show it, I'm gonna try to read what's written on it.
For most people watching, you said the magic words, Farming Simulator 22.
Absolutely.
I know a few people that are excited about that.
Yeah. But then again, we
Just
are
a
at
few.
day 3, so a couple of guys out there have already won a copy. Because, you know, we are raffling these away during the entirety of Farmcon, really. So you might want to have a look at the chat. It's a little bit late at the end of the Farmcon to mention it, but still, we hope that you checked out the chat during the last 3 days because we raffled away a couple of Farming Simulator 22. Oh, look at that!
Ooh, if he gets out and over the finish line, this is gonna be really close.
You need
actually,
to run.
he's just
you can hear his friends going, go, 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 run, 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 run. They were like 5 seconds faster.
Yeah, that's really surprising. I wonder, like, you know, it seemed when they were putting the belts on, especially a bit slower, but they made up some time somewhere.
Absolutely.
Maybe it was all that dust they were kicking up in the driving section.
And
really
now
fast
there is the Borg. Team Trelleborg.
Well, will Trelleborg handle this bale stacking challenge as well as they handle the FSL?
Selber, meine beiden Opas haben beide früher Tiere gehabt, haben sie aber inzwischen weg und da bin ich immer schon wieder Schlepper gefahren.
Okay, so she asked if he's a farmer in real life, and he said that, yeah, his grandparents had a farm, so he was able to drive every now and then.
Ah, okay.
So not a real farmer. That's from what I get. I mean, it was in his family, but he also mentioned that they had animals and they don't have them anymore. So, and he seems to be very young. So, almost a real farmer, but not a real farmer because they don't have a farm anymore. That doesn't count. At least from what I got. Let's see how they do it. We all know in the league they are super strong. Trelleborg still the reigning world champions. And on their way to defend that title right now.
Right. Top of the standings. We'll see how they handle the FSL tournament this weekend.
Yeah.
If they can stretch that lead at the top.
And it's with you again, right? I mean, I will be commenting the league as well, but on the German channel. But you are with the English guys.
Right. I believe it's myself and Virtual Farmer this time.
Yeah. So if you guys are interested in Farming Simulator esports and you wonder what's going on, this Sunday, Farming Simulator League is happening and Mr. Kirbinator will be there for you to do it in English. And if you are more interested in the German version, hop over to Giant Software DE, where I will be with the Red Cat.
There you go.
It will be awesome. I can't wait, because that is always a fun Sunday. Not gonna lie. Love it.
I do too. I love it so much that I get up at like 1 a.m. to start work on those days.
Yeah, because
of the time difference.
It's 10 a.m. German time, so it's late at night for you. I mean, on the other hand, you know, afterwards we have the entire Sunday left. I don't. So there's there we go. It's Stark Magazine D/Stark Challenge until the 31st of July. You can win a merch package and Farming Simulator 22.
Very nice.
Or a Farming Simulator 22 merch package. I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna check that out next time because it's so quick. It's way too fast for me. I'm just too old for this. So, what do you think? Are these guys fast? It looked fast, but then again, it looked slow at Krone and they were faster. So maybe I have no idea.
Yeah, maybe we're not the best judges of the speed in this competition because we were thinking that they were going slower the last time around. To me, the movement there on the front loader on the Fent was just not quite as smooth. But interesting that we've seen a telehandler used and also a Fent with a front loader. So even in the Stark Bale Stacking Challenge, we see these teams using some different strategies, just like they do in the FSL.
True. And we shouldn't forget that this is, of course, a recording. This happened, I think, last week. So it's already a cut version, right? You can tell that we can't see exactly how long it takes because every now and then they had a lot of cuts. You can tell they worked with like 20 cameras or something. It's very nicely done, though.
Yeah, very high quality video. And I hope that all of the participants had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm quite sure
taking part in it.
They all look happy. Well, these guys look focused now, but
we'll see who's the happiest after it's all said and done. They've still got a while to go in their round here.
Yeah, they do this professional belt handling as well. Very nice. And that looks smooth, actually. So definitely gaining a couple of seconds while doing this, I'm sure. Oh, maybe I was wrong for the first guy. Well,
it looks like no one's pinched their hands in the tension belts. And
yeah, that's
a
good news.
Huge plus.
Yeah. Please don't.
The inside camera in the tractor, so nice.
That's really cool. We have a couple of streamers, like real-life farming streamers in Germany, who have an inside camera, and I just love it. Sometimes I just watch their streams and watch them driving tractors around.
Yeah, I've watched one, and he speaks German, and I don't, but I still love watching it anyways, because it's so entertaining to see.
So let's see how fast this guy can go. 5 minutes, and I have no idea if that's fast or not, because, well, we haven't seen that clock at that point in the competition so far, I guess. Did we? No, I don't
I don't know. I feel like we saw it the first round maybe, and I think they might be a bit behind here. But again, we haven't been the best judges of timing so far.
To me, it feels like they are fast. So I'm going with Trelleborg as the fastest right now. I might be wrong.
I think that they do have in their favor that here at the end, when he has to get out of the tractor and sprint, they've got youth working in their favor.
Yeah, wow, that gives like 5 seconds, but hey, still something, right? Every second counts. We all know that.
Right. Krona could have been even faster, maybe, because he hopped out of the tractor and didn't realize he needed to sprint to the finish line.
That would have given them like 2-3 seconds, I guess.
No tennis balls knocked off so far. Nicely done, but I probably jinxed him. We'll see what happens.
He hits the next 5 or something. No, it looks good. I mean, you can tell these guys know how to operate this, right? It looks very, very good.
Yeah, I think they would need extra cones with me around, because they would just all end up smashed.
Yeah, for me, they needed to put these cones way further. Oh, let's see. What can you win? Yeah, Farming Simulator 22. I guess. That's what the picture
was
says.
That a subscription to Stark Magazine as well, maybe?
Yeah, it was.
Next to it? No.
But I'm not advertising that. No, well, you can... I mean, I just tried to see what are the prizes, so... But yeah, there is the Stark magazine out there, of course, and it is big in Germany. Right? I'm not sure you can get it outside of Germany. You can for sure get it in what we call the DACH region, which is Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. Quite sure you can get it everywhere there, but if you are not from one of these countries, you might have a hard time getting it.
Uh-oh.
Because you might remember, by the way, that's yeah, that one. You can stop being slow because it's done. Okay. Good. You might remember Stark, by the way. I just realized, because the team that is Corteva now, last year they used to be Burning Gamers by Stark.
Oh, okay.
Because Stark had a team. They don't have a team this year, though. That class structure is nice, by the way. Just saying.
Oh, that is nice. Oh, they've got like the camera up on the back of it on a platform.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Look at that.
So many people having fun there in the background. You can see them all smiling. The Valtra team is just standing there, watching them, going, yep, it's hard, we know. So, these bells weren't as nice as the other ones. They're twisted. Look at this. You know, first one is a little bit twisted. The front one, very twisted.
Yeah, we won't give them many style points.
I'm not sure if style points are even a thing here. I guess not.
They aren't, but they are for the viewers at home. Just like with Trelleborg, we're looking at now in the FSL, the viewers, they entertain the viewers with the little Trelleborg toss, I'll call it, putting the bales directly into the upper part of the barn by driving the telehandler as fast as possible and using the conveyor belt to stop the momentum and chucking the bale straight in the top.
Yeah, that's
you don't really get extra points for that, but it excites the viewers.
You do
at
with
home,
the first bale, though. You know, this drive-by baling.
Right.
What we call in Germany, I established the term drive-by baling. Where you just,
I like that.
Where you just drive by and then throw the bale in. That gives extra points because it gives you extra seconds.
Right. I've tried this, by the way. I've actually been playing the Farming Simulator League arena during the scrimmage streams the last couple of weeks. I took over the English language one for Chalky this past week, and it's not easy. They make it look so smooth, the FSL pros. Yeah. But man, it is quite challenging when you actually try.
Yeah, but so yeah, I can give you some German terms. So we have drive-by baling, and then that throwing is the Trelleborg toss.
Yeah, see, we've called it the same thing.
It's obvious.
Trelleborg toss.
We also had last year we had Grimme gliding, when they had the bales glide, you know, across each other. So we always try to do that. So there we go. Yeah, there is a merch box with a cap and everything as well. So nice things to win. Join in if you feel like it. The website might be German though. I don't know. Haven't checked. So if you don't speak German, I'm not sure how easy it is to participate, but you can totally try and check it out. Might be international as well. So he's super focused. I like that. And I don't think what he just did was good for the money too. You could hear the scratching. It's like
I didn't pick up on that. I'm glad you did.
So,
right. What's the time going to be here? You think they've been faster than everyone?
Yeah, I feel like they had a... Oh, look at this.
Ooh, he's got to get out quick.
He doesn't know how to use the door.
This.
Run!
No. I think Krona are going to win this by just mere seconds.
Well, it depends on the tennis balls, I guess.
Right, I guess those haven't been added in, have they?
I don't know. Let's see. So here we go. Valtra, total time 11:31. They hit 4 tennis balls. One bale wasn't exactly where it's supposed to be, and they didn't roll up the... Oh, there are style points. They didn't roll up the belts.
Oh, okay.
So
What do you know?
11:31 for Valtra. Krona, 4 tennis balls. One bale wasn't where it's supposed to be, and again, they didn't do that as well. So 11:12. They were faster though.
Okay.
And
I think Krona wins
Trelleborg.
it.
Oh,
Ooh.
they hit 2 tennis balls. One bale wasn't where it's supposed to be, and of course the belts as well. So 10:59 for Trelleborg. That means Trelleborg. Oh no, they all did that. They all made the belts nice, so they, erased 3 penalty points. That's why Trelleborg has 0 penalty points. Krona has 1, and Valtra has 2, and it's 15 seconds per penalty point. So that means that Krona, just because they had a penalty point, because they lost by 13 seconds.
Wow, yeah, Krona were the fastest,
they were
but
the fastest.
not the cleanest.
No, if they would have been cleaner, they would win. So, yeah, but congratulations to Trelleborg. There we go. They used the bales again. Oh yeah.
Trelleborg in real life, Trelleborg in the Farming Simulator League.
There we go.
On top of the podium.
Well, that was fun.
What a team.
Yeah, what a team.
Farming Simulator League Season 3 continues this weekend. Don't miss the live streams, and if you're new to the FSL, check out the website fsl.giants-software.com to learn more about it. The time has come for us to say goodbye. It's been a pleasure again to be your Farmcon host, and I hope to see many of you in person again at Farmcon 22 next year. In the coming weeks, we will release even more information about Farming Simulator 22 on our website and social media channels before the game's launch on November 22nd. And remember, we still have one map to show you, for example. Make sure to follow us across the various social media platforms you use to stay up to date. And just like the last 2 days, you can continue chatting with us on the official Farming Simulator Discord server. Even after the stream ends, we'll be around for a bit longer today to answer your questions. So thank you for watching, stay safe, and let the good times grow.